Hey guys, welcome back. Hope you had a good Easter weekend. Happy Money Monday to you. It's April 6th. We're going to review 0-day options on SPY and the small account challenge. Coming off a long weekend, I'm always like a little... Well, wasn't anxious, but it's like, I feel like the skills, whatever skills I have, if any, I feel like I might lose them. I don't know if you guys have that at all, but it's like, if I haven't traded for a few days, it's like, is that really working? Is that real? It almost seems like fake and surreal when stuff works out and I'm able to be profitable consistently with confidence. And so when I come off of like not trading for a longer weekend, it's like, oh, okay, is it the magic still there? It's hard to describe, I guess, but kind of had a little bit of that today. Wasn't anxious, but just excited to get back into it. Mondays are oftentimes kind of grindy lately. Maybe probably always, just kind of building liquidity for the week, as well as since we've had a long weekend. Of course, all the volatility. Today was a full-on grind day. IV crusher, which is good. Our IV's been high. Range was on like 4 points today. Didn't gap. Just had a rally up to 20-day and just basically chopped in a 4-point range all stinking day. Pretty tricky day really to just go long, naked long options. Not be selling credit spreads or maybe futures, but really just selling premium would have been the best. Yeah. So, anyways, without a gap, it's kind of nice usually, but this morning that was an exception. It was not nice, and I was having a hard time seeing what was going on. I kept kind of changing stuff around, and you can see that by the two different angles of purple there. So morning we started kind of grinding up. We completed this inverse cup, and then we completed this cup, and I charted the down a little more. Might just be my monitor actually. No, it's a little loud. I was looking for the bullish controlled selling, and I had purple here. There's like this steeper one based on those lows. Actually, I had it here, but you can kind of see. Yeah, I almost like it there. Maybe even flatters, maybe more like that. I don't think I ever quite had it right. The resistance here, then breaking through and flipping into support. Maybe I had it later because I did put this. Yeah, maybe it was more like, dang it. It probably was that. Whoops. Yeah, I don't know. Anyways, my chart is a little tough today, and that's probably because it was lower volume in a wedge. Market's kind of waiting, I think, on decisions with the war. And we've also just had a ton of volatility, so it's kind of just seems like it's trying to slow down and catch up a little bit and burn some theta. So, inverse cup completed, I was looking for a handle here, which it kind of made right here, and the breakout represented by this purple, but the tight range, you can see it was messy. My first trade was at 10:02. I got into a put. Oh yeah, these some of these candles are crazy. So we're grinding up in gold, which is tapering. So that's bearish. You don't know how long it'll take, but it could always break to the upside. But without any of that, it's more or less bearish. So we're buying this red is the steepest buying I see. I see the gray here too, which I don't know if that actually was legitimate. That maybe didn't. Yeah, I'm not sure about that one. Anyways, around like, yeah, 10 o'clock, there wasn't supposed to be news, but huge candle to the upside. A lot of volume. I was like, whoa, because a break of the gold here and I could go long with, breaking from the gold tapering algo to potentially this steeper red one. I just kind of sat on my hands for a moment. And I waited and I was like, okay, well, we've got 20-day here. It could be rejecting. And it is tapering, so I decided to actually go short there with 20-day for sure being a stop. Kind of front running the break of this gold right here. So thinking this could be a nice head if it is. And we have tapering and we have a 20-day for a nice stop, as well as purple then. So that was my thought process on this first trade at 10:02. Let's see, 10:02. Yeah, so it was a little earlier. It was like right here. So it was like, again, I was kind of front running this a little bit. It wasn't down here. It was a little bit higher. I was trying to have it as close to that 20 days it was. Because I'd initially thought about going long. So I'm like, okay, broke the goal to the upside. And then I just kind of wait a little bit, which was such a good thing. And then I was like, okay, well, actually, it could be just showing resistance right here. And really, if I'm putting this up here, yeah, I didn't really retest it, but yeah. Anyway, so kind of front, so I didn't actually have that down there. That would have been even more clear. I think I had it the low. Either way, I got in here with that being my stop pretty much, which kind of sucks when it's super wicky like this and just kind of grindy. Your stops just have to be wider, and I don't like it. I think low volume also kind of encourages that also. If you want to actually stay in a trade, you've got to be a little more flexible. I don't know when the summer, I'm going to look it up, when the summer, like low volume actually starts coming in. We might have a high volume volatile summer though with Trump. We don't know. Let's see, April, I feel like June, July, August, somewhere in there it starts to low volume and slow up. Good time to take a vacation. But yeah, so got in for $1.14, 656 put. I had a limit order for another one, I think. Yeah, I put another limit order for $1.04. So I got it somewhere here, and then it came up. I put a limit order and didn't fill, which was fine. Yeah, then came down, nice big candle through the gold, which I was kind of front running the break on that. So I was happy about that. And then I'm looking for a low of day for inverse cup to close. Other than that, I didn't really have a good profit target because I had gold here. Yeah, I just didn't really have any other target. I did have green. Before that, I didn't have any kind of precision selling. So from these first 3 candles, I put in this green precision selling. And it kind of came down, had some nice candles, and I wanted to take it, but I really wanted at least this low. Like, it doesn't have to be all the way down here at this wick. I was going to take it right here, and it just didn't quite make it. So endured this big green candle, and then I think I closed on this one. Yeah, I closed right here, a break of that. So $1.14 to $1.66, still a cool trade. It's just hard with one contract because you really want to just close whatever you can on these volatile candles that have velocity in your direction. Because even if, if this had some velocity, which it started to get a little weird down here, but say I close on this one, like by the time it actually reaches down here, if it's over here, I might have gotten a better fill here than, at some point when it closes down here. So, or even here. And with one contract, it's tough because if you just close it here and it's like, well, it didn't break out of green and never hit my profit target. We're just closing because it's red candle, which, yeah. Anyways, first trade there. Next trade was a call at 10:16. So I had a purple here. At that point, it was a little steeper. Okay, yeah, okay, that's right. I remember this. So I wasn't really thinking about the cup closing. For some reason, I just didn't have that in my head too much. I was thinking more broke purple, and we also had 20-day, and 20-day was a little bit lower, and so I was getting it on a retest of 20-day for that being my stop, as well as kind of purple flipping into support of some sort as it broke it. So you did have a wick up here, so theoretically there could be another cup there, but I was just using it for right here. After I opened it, I was like, this is actually a cup. We might have a bigger handle than just a little retrace down to this purple. And so I didn't really like that. So with $1.43, I opened it up, and that was a 6.59. I closed it for $1.25 at 10.18. Yeah, I stopped out on this candle. Yeah, it's like, again, I didn't really have a clear stop. After I broke that red and then also the purple, I'm like, all right, I gotta get out of this. If I hadn't gotten in there, potentially I would have been able to jump in on this candle or this one as it broke that purple, but again, you see lack of continuation. I didn't have this white one charted at that point, so the upside I saw if it broke here would have been top of this gold or high of day with that wick. So that probably wouldn't have done much for me anyways. But yeah, that trade was a wash. So this one, if it wasn't break coming in here, it would have had to have been just kind of an anticipatory front run, which I don't usually do. I'm Because this wasn't on any support. Let me see. Gold. I think gold was in there. Maybe. Oh, look at that. It was on gold. Okay. Potentially I would have like charted if I wasn't in one. I was looking for a good line to manage my risk with. I could have maybe used that once I entered here. Okay, anyways, that was the second trade, so gave back some of that first profit. Next one was at 1023. And then I did hear, I don't know if I knew at this point, but that Trump was speaking at like 1:30, I think. And I don't know if I knew it at this point or not. But $1.56, I got a call at 1023. Yeah, so completed that, did that. Came up, and yeah, now I am looking for a retest on the break of the purple, which is what I got here. I got a call somewhere in here. And then at 1024, I got another one. So $1.56 and $1.50. I had not charted this gray right here. And I'm using more or less purple to manage my risk. And at here, 1026. So on this candle, probably when it was red still, I closed them. That one sucked. $1.34 I closed that one for. It sucked because I thought it was ripping right after that because I saw it climb up. It literally, I let the wick get me, and it was like pretty frustrating because it was fully red. I was like, all right, I'm out. And then it wicked, and I'm like, oh. And then of course I thought I was going to rally, but then I started charting some more, and I'm like, okay, it might not. We might have resistance here, which sure enough, given this would have been a green trade if I charted this and taken some profit here, which I probably would have. Maybe done a break even on the other ones. But just lack continuation on all fronts today. So that one was, yeah, no good. Next one was at 1049. I got a put. I got 3 puts at 1049. So lack of continuation, even more tapering with the gray. I had gold here. I had this gray. We had a big red candle out of nowhere. So yeah, I don't know if that was, no, he wasn't talking. I don't know what that was. So we're still kind of in the wedge though with this gray. Was it this one? Yeah, see, like I said, I was a little thrown off. Oh yeah, initially this even more. I deleted the other one. Initially this was even a little bit, it was more like that. I had it with those resistances because I didn't have that one in there. That'll make more sense. When you see my entry right here, 1049, I thought this was the break of the final one, the final wedge. I thought this was the break. And that's the problem if you're not perfectly precise early on. As it stretches out, that price differential gets large. So should have been a little more diligent on charting up here. Give myself a little more slack. Part of the problem too is just that this big wicks down here, it's just hard for me to kind of see. So I changed it at some point though to better reflect the angle of this channel. And yeah, so anyways, this to me was the breakout. I got one at 1049. Thought this was it. The indicator, one indicator that it wasn't triggering any stops. There wasn't really an increase in volume. Sometimes that happens though. It'll break it and kind of retest a little bit and then start going. In this case though, it retested and I was just buying more. Yeah, 1049 I bought 3 656 puts. And it rallied back up through my line that I had, and I had to sell them. So $1.42, $1.40, $1.43, sold it for $1.06. That was very frustrating. It was fine. I knew it was just like, okay, it's a wedgie day, but also I just didn't chart that quite right, and it just really messed me up. Yeah. Frustrating. I'm curious if Eric was charting today, what his looked like. I wasn't following along, as that usually messes me up even more. Intraday. So let's see, took a little break. 1124. I was back with a put. So yeah, just really ended up wedging gnarly right in here. I didn't have this blue yet. I had purple though, that was the top of my wedge, and gray was the bottom. And it broke the gray. The gray I was comfortable with and I thought was proper. And the same type of thing. Volume didn't pick up. We didn't start triggering stops. This was a smaller position though. Let's see. Oh, I did buy 2. No, I did buy 3. Wow. 11.24 and ended up getting 3. 77, 81, and 77 cents. Very slow grindy price action. Sold the first one at 20. So I held through all this thinking there's resistance, the gray at that point. Sold one on this red candle just because I was like, this is going way too slow. There's no volume. It's not triggering stops. All those reasons. I maybe even had this gold uncharted. Yeah. I just wanted to reduce risk. I was like, I gotta get out of some of this. So got rid of one of them. Looked like it was actually selling in purple here. And yeah, got rid of one for 79 cents. So about break even, maybe a little gain. Sold one for 75 cents and then 73 cents. So small loss on those. That was 11.31 and 11.34. So right here and then right there. Yeah. Got pretty ugly price action. And then I was about out of buying power, which is a good thing on a day like this. But I'm trying to fight just getting in a trade just to burn up my buying power, because that did kind of creep up today where I was like, I should just get my next trade in and be done with buying power so I can be done. But I was like, I fought that and I did. I was like, all right, no, I'm gonna have buying power. There's probably gonna be a good setup at some point. I want to be able to have exposure when it comes. So I didn't just get in and burn my buying power, which seems crazy, but it definitely does hit you. $1.25 in a put, or sorry, at 125 in a put for 48 cents. So this one rejected 20-day, never completed the cup to the upside. Again, we hadn't completed the cup to the downside either. So it's ever grindy, like that's just the best. Just wait for cups to close. And taking on a 20-day resistance, I guess you could do. I mean, this weird candle out of nowhere was crazy. Okay, yeah. So this was after cup closed. I waited through this, even though potentially I could have charted something and talked myself into it. Okay, broke that. Broke it, retested. But I didn't want to mess with it. I'm like, I'm just going to wait for a cup to close. So, cup did close. It came up. And this was a little risky. I had clear stops though. And I kind of played the VWAP game. I did have something else charted here too. I can't remember. I deleted it for some reason. The purple? It might have been purple. What time was that at? 125. Yeah, so on this candle right here for VWAP, opened up a put for the handle and then also for potentially for purple being my stop. Yeah, it was purple, I think. Even though purple wasn't really showing up back here and I again wasn't quite certain of the angle. I don't think I had this light blue one in yet. Yeah, charting was just not as accurate today. And that's because I think we're just in a big wedge. And whatever wedge we did break out of, it just lacked continuation. So it just wasn't identifying itself to me that well. So 125 I was in for 48 cents. Came out of it at 131 for 30 cents. So on, yeah, this candle, once it broke that purple. So it did end up coming down, but this isn't what I was looking for anyway. So, let's see, yeah, a little too bad because but this is just such a mess. Yeah. And then I only had really one more small trade left for buying power, which is good. Again, complete the inverse cup, had a handle, didn't go anywhere, just building liquidity around 20-day hardcore. Grinded. At that point I had charted this light blue. Looked like it was building liquidity on it. I took a call, I think on this candle. Yeah. Crazy now because it was, well, this candle closed green above it. So I took it here and I'm like, all right, I'm going to do 20-day for my stop. Real tight stop. But it broke above the blue, which I had charted. this cup had closed right here, so this being the handle, I was looking for move at least a high of day. Next candle immediately reversed, and I stopped out. So 25 cents to 23 cents right there. And yeah, then I was done. So choppy, grindy day. I don't always like do too bad on these days, I feel like, because I'll just kind of I'll get kind of some wedge trades. I don't know. When I look back on days where I'm like pretty green, oftentimes I look kind of bad. But today, just, I don't know, maybe my charting was just off, or it just was truly a lot of lack of continuation, and I don't know, too difficult to manage. Let me look at, see if Eric has anything. Here's Eric's. He's Spy Day Trading on YouTube. You can check him out. Link for his Discord in the description. Yeah, this is kind of what I had too. It's like it's breaking through here, not reaching it there. It's close. It's close to what I had going on with hard to tell because this perspective is different. I didn't really have that. Yeah, it's this one right here. But mine for some reason cuts that off right there. Yeah, I mean it's similar. I don't know. It's close. So he broke out on his here, then failed. I don't know. Yeah, it doesn't look too good on his chart either, really, honestly. Because like, I guess you could take a break here. I kind of had this charted, but man, it's just ugly because then it ends up selling in this pink, which I had that too. Broke out of that, so you could take that, but then yeah, that I guess could have been a trade. I had just so many. Yeah, I guess right here I see that now. I'd pretty recently charted that light blue though. But that's just I don't know. After it's not completed any cups or inverse cups and just wedging to just take a break on that in the middle of the wedge is nasty. I don't know. Red day for me, which is okay. Mondays can be rough for my account. Not usually this rough. I kind of was having a little bit of size. I'm trying to kind of get that big trade in and not have to fuss with it for the rest of the day. They're the trades went over, and yeah, there's performance 139. Yeah, like I said, kind of a nasty red day. That's above average on a green day for this account. So I like to not have a bigger red day than I can make up in one day, kind of on average. So we'll see. On the 30-minute, here's Eric's chart also. We haven't broken out of that red. It's in the last 30 minutes though, so I don't hold it with too much weight. But we'll see. I mean, we might be gapping up the 20-day tomorrow. Or sorry, 200. Given that we've completed this cup, this is the handle, little inverse head and shoulder up here, and looks like we've broken out of that red, but we'll see. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you tomorrow. Sub up, like up, comment down. Happy money sticks around. Peace out.